Have you noticed? The healers, the visionaries, the quiet mystics, the most awake among us are vanishing. Not dramatically, not in protest, not in anger, but silently, gently, like the tide pulling back from the shore. They're leaving social media, abandoning careers, walking away from relationships, drifting out of the spotlight, disappearing from the world of endless noise. This isn't burnout. It isn't escapism. It isn't even rebellion. It is something much deeper. Carl Jung foresaw this moment. He called it the necessary withdrawal. Jung observed that as a person individuates, as they integrate their shadow, as they awaken to their full psychological reality, society itself begins to feel unbearable. Not metaphorically unbearable, not philosophically unbearable, but somatically, physically, psychologically. Participation in the collective dream becomes painful to the nervous system. Jung himself wrote of this. As he awakened, he could no longer sit in ordinary conversation without feeling as if he was betraying himself. Imagine being the only one awake in a room full of sleepers. Every word, every gesture, every conversation built on unspoken dreams and shadows. You know the truth beneath the mask. You see the shadow under the performance. You hear the unspoken fear hiding behind the words. And yet, you are asked to smile, to nod, to pretend you do not see what you see. This is the psychic pain Jung described. And this is why withdrawal becomes inevitable. Society runs on collective unconsciousness, on shared projections, on shadow agreements, on roles and masks that everyone silently consents to wear. This isn't a flaw in the system. It is the system. And it only works if everyone plays along unconsciously. But what happens when you wake up? Suddenly you see the projection. You notice the mask. You hear the lie behind the words. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. This is the curse of consciousness. You become psychologically alone, even when you are physically surrounded. You are speaking a different language. You are operating in a different reality. You are awake in a dream. And the effort to translate, to constantly bridge your consciousness with the unconscious collective is exhausting. So eventually, the awakened begin to disappear. Not because they hate people, not because they're superior, but because their psyche simply cannot survive. in a sea of unconsciousness any longer. Right now, in this very moment, this prophecy is unfolding. There is a mass exodus happening across the planet, and nobody is talking about it. The most conscious, the most psychologically mature, the most spiritually awake are quietly retreating. Some go off-grid, some abandon social media, some walk away from careers that no longer resonate, some leave relationships that can no longer hold their truth. It may look like they are giving up, but in reality, they are aligning with the next stage of evolution. Because disappearance is not rejection, it is transformation. Jung warned, this withdrawal is not optional, it is essential. When your consciousness expands, the psyche has only two choices: betray itself to remain in the collective dream, or withdraw into solitude to protect its integrity. This is not escapism. It is not spiritual bypassing. It is survival. Because to stay, to continue pretending, is to fracture yourself, to split your psyche, to betray your awakening. But to withdraw is to guard the fire of consciousness until it is strong enough to return authentically. This is why solitude has always been the path of the mystic, the prophet, the visionary. Not as escape, but as initiation. In solitude, the psyche integrates. In solitude, the shadow is faced. In solitude, the false masks fall away.
Disappearance is not the end of the story. It is the womb of rebirth. It is the necessary withdrawal that allows the soul to return to the world, not as a participant in the unconscious stream, but as a carrier of light. So if you have been feeling the pull to disappear, if you've been longing to withdraw, to leave it all behind, know this: you are not broken. You are not antisocial. You are not running away. You are evolving. You are walking the path Jung foresaw, the path of necessary withdrawal, the path where disappearance is not escape, but evolution. And one day, from that solitude, you will return. Not to fit back into society's dream, but to live authentically as who you truly are.